The last time you were on the show, we talked about your experiences and coming from Poland and going to New York City and learning. Tell me more about your experiences and how you got involved with doing the Marlene and Dietrich.
Yes, absolutely. So I was actually starring in Bound to Rise, an original show by Medicine Show Theater in 2016. We had about 30 performances, and I was singing a lot in this show. And the music director kept telling me every night when we perform, Justyna, you have to look at Marlene Dietrich. There's something about you and her that just connects for me. Please look her up. So, you know, he was a little bit of a pain in the, so he wouldn't stop until I actually looked her up and really did my research on her. The city where I come from in Poland is actually 2 hours away from Berlin. So I would go to Berlin as a child and I would see this beautiful woman standing in a suit in some commercials. That was Marlene Dietrich.
The suit was kind of unusual for
very unusual. That is 1920s when a woman could actually go to jail for wearing men's clothing.
Really?
Right? That's right. And that's when she said, oh, I don't care. I would do it anyway. Also, she was a huge icon of the LGBTQ community. Openly, she was the first woman to kiss another woman on a Hollywood movie screen. 1929 Morocco film. She was in the suit, and that was like the iconic scene. So the LGBTQ community, she's also a huge icon. So we used to actually go in New York City Pride parades, advertising the show when I was performing it in New York City.
Wonderful.
As well as she used her international stardom to fight the evil. And I mean, how many of these Hollywood actresses would actually get off their couch and
do something?
And do something. That's right. Instead of just collecting those millions, go and join the U.S. Army. So she left Germany because she couldn't. She already knew what was coming in 1929. She ended up in Hollywood. And then she was feeling so bad about, first of all, she wanted to poison Hitler. She didn't do it because she was worried about her family back in Germany. But she did everything. She spent all her money to save Jewish people from the war and brought so many of them to America, including her director, Sternberg. So she actually took him to America. He was Jewish, so he probably would ended up, right? So I just felt an enormous connection with this because my grandma was actually a slave. I'm not Jewish, to a German family. Her family was, taken when she was 5 years old.
They use people.
That's right, use people. My grandpa was in military in Poland during the war, so I felt that connection and strength to tell Marlene's story because a lot of people, especially my age, don't know about it, that she joined the U.S. Army, that she fought for human rights, and that's why I have co-written that show with Oliver Conant, who was also one of my first directors for the show when it was starting in New York City.
So you're the clone.
I am. Well, in some ways, I feel like I definitely my life has some, definitely
the
some.
Spirit is there.
The spirit is there, and there was something that my publicist, who used to be a publicist for Rolling Stones, used to say. Her name was Judy Jackson. Judy, if you're watching this, I still remember you. She always would say, Justyna, well, not only you're sitting on a gold mine, but also she would tell me, I feel like you are the reincarnation of her because she died in 1991 and I was born 1993. Mm-hmm. So there was something there definitely energetically that I felt very drawn to. We actually went to her grave in Berlin. I sang some of her songs. It was filmed. So a lot of connection there. And
wonderful,
I'm looking forward to continuing it later this year now that I found a female director who could stand up to the role of directing me in this show.
Well, you probably have it under your belt anyway, right?
I sure do, but it's really nice to actually have a
someone giving you another
energy.
Another feeling.
That's right, another feeling, and I look forward to continuing it. But it's definitely a story.
Well, we're going to watch for that coming out,
That's
and
right.
I'm sure we're going to see that, and I'm going to be there. I'll be in the first row right there.
Oh, wonderful! I was singing just for you, And
but you don't only do that because
that's right.
You have so many passions. When I read your bio and looked at the number of things that you do the equine healing, you do the dance. Tell me about the dance.
Yes, so Ecstatic Dance Troy is something that I started doing last year. It is a monthly gathering. Once a month we get together and we use dance as healing. It is last Sunday of the month, 12 to 2 p.m. The next one is coming up on February 22nd, where I collaborate with Ashley, who is going to be leading a somatic healing method. Oh my God.
She got a title.
Yes,
that's okay.
So she's going to be leading the warm-up and the cool-down to this. In the middle of the section, I actually DJ and curate music. It's a sober event, so kids-friendly. All ages can come. It's really a way for us to dance and use movement, free-form movement, for healing, for release, for feeling freedom, for a communication non-verbally. So it's very artistic yet holistic. And I got into this world when the pandemic hit, and obviously I couldn't perform for a couple of years. So I reconnected with dancing, meditative dancing. I actually went to India, where I studied Osho active meditations in Pune for 6 months. So I really, learned to my core, and now I want to bring it to the Western people, what I've learned there, and that's what I've been doing. So,
but all through history, dance has been part of every single culture.
You're absolutely right. So it's nothing new, really. I mean, ecstatic dance was remembered again in Hawaii in the year 2000. That's when it popped up again, that kind of movement of using dance for healing, but also Native Americans. I mean, we are on the land of Native Americans, and what do they do for healing? Sing. They dance. When you come to a Native American person and you say, I'm really depressed, they ask you, when did you stop dancing? When did you stop singing?
That is interesting.
When did you stop being in nature?
Yeah.
So that's, I mean, I have chills when I talk about this, because all of this connects for me.
I've been to a number of powwows, and it just makes me so sad to think that what we
That's right.
I didn't personally, but we did as a nation.
Absolutely.
Did to the Native Americans.
Absolutely, yeah, me too. So, that's why I am really, really committed to these gatherings where all the people are welcome, and I want to, reconnect us through different ways than just, talking, because we do a lot of that in our everyday lives.
Yeah, I mean, you go to a psychologist, you know this, but there's more to it.
That's a different way, and there has been a lot of scientific studies that dancing, free-form movement, opens up different neurological connections in your brain that heal depression. It's actually more effective right now than an antidepressant, dancing.
I believe that.
It's unbelievable. And, we've been growing community in Troy right now. We do it at Mount Ida Preservation Association. Shout out to Michael, the executive director. I'm really grateful for this
he's a great guy. Easterbrook.
Great guy. I'm really grateful. It is still...
Esterbrook,
That's right. It is still produced by my nonprofit company, because it's an arts company. And, we're committed to continue doing it. I also did similar events in Poland, in India, as well as in New York City. So this is just a continuation of it. And and that's, also part of me to bring the healing through art to other people.
But speaking of healing, you also do equine.
That's right. So horses actually has been my first love. When I turned 5, I remember driving with my parents in Poland by a gas station and noticing a small pony standing in a fenced-in area. Very weird, like one pony in a fenced-in area. That was like, 27 years ago. And I said, Mommy, let me, out of the car. So I run out of the car, go to this horse, and it bites me in my stomach.
What an introduction.
And that was my first love. I fell in love. So that's when I knew that...
A little nibble there?
Yes, a little nibble there. And that's when I knew that, of course, that didn't scare me. I said to my mother, I'm going to ride horses. Of course, then she said, absolutely not. This is dangerous. So I would literally, secretly... Mom, I hope you're not watching it. Secretly, I would ride my bike to the stable and ended up volunteering there, being a lot around horses. But of course, at the time, I didn't understand the scientific reason of the holistic healing of horses.
The rhythm.
Rhythm, their energy. So there's actually...
I love to horseback ride, so that's... I know what you're talking.
And it's not just about horseback riding, because that can be, even from a physical therapy perspective, amazing for your body, especially if you have some disability.
Yeah, and there's one in Saratoga that does that.
That's right, yeah, that's right. The movement, I actually studied the PAF, which is a way of being a therapeutic riding instructor, so I am certified in that. But recently, I started getting into the world of just being around horses and holding these workshops with Fire Horse Healing. This is the perfect year to try
and what is it?
Fire Horse Healing.
The Lunar New Year.
That's right, Lunar New Year. So I started that organization, and we are hosting workshops mostly in warmer months. We rolled out a new collaboration with a place in Dover Plains, which is about 1.5 hours south from here, about 2 hours away from New York City. And we do these workshops once a month. The next one is coming up in April, where for 5 hours you get to interact with horses in the field and do different holistic exercises to get you to work on yourself with that energy. And there is a real reason, everybody who's watching it, why are horses so phenomenal in this. So first of all, their electromagnetic field is 5 times bigger than ours. So our aura is about this big. Theirs is 5 times bigger. And their heart rate is twice slower than ours, and they're huge animals. So regulation around horses
my
comes
gosh.
very naturally.
Yeah.
They also mirror our emotions in a non-verbal way, so that talk psychotherapy just doesn't even come up close to the kind of experiences we've been seeing and transformation that people have been going through. So it's a really, my goal in my life is to open up a holistic healing center to include theater, arts, singing, dancing, horses. Yes, that is the plan. And
we're almost out of time. Is there anything else that you'd like to add before our segment is done? Because you are such an amazing woman.
Thank you. So are you.
You are an amazing woman.
So are you. There is a reason why we connected. I'm just really grateful to be here. I'm really grateful to have been introduced to the Capital District area by Don Rittner 11 years ago. I'm really grateful for Marcom Pianist, who was an amazing addition to my Dietrich show, and hopefully we'll continue that collaboration. And grateful for all of you to continue bringing arts to this region. So thank you, everybody.
We love arts. I tell you, it's so important it's a creative thing, and we've got to get more people to be creative.
That's
rather
right.
than being structured all the time.
Absolutely. That is a way to heal, and that is a way for us to uplift and find ourselves again in everything that's happening in the world.
It's been a pleasure to meet you, and
Likewise.
I'm sure we'll meet again.
Thank you so much, Ann.
Lots of good stuff.